maybe to set up the one or two issues that I would want to comment, because I know many colleagues, and yesterday this is our common date. We would have expected all of us to be here, because essentially this is why Senate exists, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, maybe before I make my few comments, I want to say also security forms a very critical part of our country and the counties to function. Our hearts and prayers goes to the people of Laikipia because of insecurity issues that they are facing at the moment. We are praying for them, and we hope the insecurity situation and the challenges that they are facing in terms of security as a Laikipia County, they can be arrested and ensure the situation is stabilized, because our counties cannot function without having a stable security. And I hope the security agencies should be able to address. But, Madam Speaker, I saw the RC of my region saying that the bandits are using M16, the heavy machines, and they are normally held by foreigners. I think the government should come clean so that our people do not continue to lose property and lives. And I hope the speed, I saw the National Assembly Security Committee 2 weeks ago acted on a speedy the other day when the issue of redeployment of security officers within the DP came up, and even the Minister of Interior was very quick. I hope the people in charge of security are not addressing political issues. This is the time we need them to be on the ground to ensure. Madam Speaker, secondly, because I have 3 points, is that it is unfortunate that 38 days later, when we have passed the CARA, County Allocation Revenue Act, Madam Speaker, and the CS in charge of Treasury should have within 15 days, as provided for under the PMF Act, Madam Speaker, should have submitted the cash disbursement schedule. But it is only 38 days later, Madam Speaker, and it is affecting our calendar, Madam Speaker. And I heard somebody wanted to blame Senate, yet it is the work of CS in charge of Treasury. Madam Speaker, the delayed disbursement, as we talk, this money that we are talking about, Madam Speaker, for the last 2 months, they have not been disbursed. Madam Speaker, and this is a clear violation of Article 219, where the disbursement of cash should be made to counties as provided for under Article 219, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, for the first time, counties are lamenting, everybody is complaining of the slow disbursement of cash. And I've said before, I heard my colleagues yesterday, that the way the inefficiency and incompetency, the way the CS in charge of Treasury is running Treasury is very sad. And is violating Article 219. If this country was functioning, it would have been sanctioned and surcharged. Because when you look under Article 2265, and I want to advise my brother Ukuri Atani, because you might imagine that you will only be surcharged with it. The Constitution provides that even after you are being the holder of that office, Madam Speaker, you can still be surcharged and be followed up. So, Madam Speaker, the problem we are facing in this country is delayed disbursement of cash to our counties. Especially in the northern frontier counties, at the moment they are facing issues of famine, they are facing issues of drought, both in North Rift, part of North Rift and northern Kenya. Madam Speaker, this money should have been disbursed timely. So I think the CS in charge of Treasury, in no uncertain terms, has violated the Constitution, has run inefficiently and in an incompetent way this that we are talking about, Madam Speaker. Even the issue of equalization fund that should have gone to counties that are facing challenges in terms of, Madam Speaker, in terms of many challenges that they are facing in terms of ensuring that we have hospitals, schools, and many others, Madam Speaker. So I think from where I sit, or from where I stand, Madam Speaker, the CS in charge of the Treasury has run down and ensured that this thing does not work. The counties are complaining year in and year out. He is blaming the Senate for saying we have delayed. He has violated the law by bringing 38 days, yet it should have been 15 days, violating Article 229. And interestingly, our CS, Madam Speaker, as I move to the second point, I think the only time I've seen CS Treasury being serious is launching some political formation called Lupia. I would be doing serious issues like ensuring that they protect counties, Madam Speaker. I've just said here, when you go, for example, and it is important to be honest, The drought is ravaging. I've given an example of Laisami's constituency. The boreholes have dried. The machines that are drilling water are broken down. Our people are suffering. And yet somebody somewhere is not using the mandate that we have given him, Madam Speaker. So I believe that the CS should be sanctioned, should be surcharged. Where possible, he has ensured that the counties continue to suffer. Madam Speaker, thirdly and finally, is that I'm happy for the first time Nandi was before us and I'm happy I saw the ODM leader talking about 1 man, 1 vote, 1 shilling. As we were on this side pushing for counties, there was some guys calling themselves, or some senators calling themselves Team Kenya. I'm happy in all this fight we come to one agreement. Nandi used to earn 5.3 billion, Madam Speaker, but I'm happy with additional of 1.6 billion, Nandi is going to earn 6.9 billion in this financial year of 2021-2022. Similar to your county, Madam Speaker, was Ngishu County. And governors should be honest to wananchi. Senator Moses Wetangula, your governor should be telling wananchi the money is using to fix roads in Bungoma. The money is giving bursary. It is because of you as the senator. We are not rubber stamp, Madam Speaker. Your governor, Governor Mandago, before sponsoring 51 students to go to Finland, he should be telling those people the money that we are using is because of Senator Professor Kamar stood firm and ensured that there was additional money that came to us. Similar to Nandi and many other counties, Machakos, Nairobi City County, although it's under NMS, I don't know, Senator Kwamboka here, Senator Kasanga in Makwiny, and many others, my friend Migori, Senator Uchila Yako. Madam Speaker, we must say that the addition that we fought through this, I remember my brothers like Senator Argura, for the 4 months we were fighting here, we could not see eye to eye. And at that time, my brother, Senator Moses Wetangula, was my best friend. But so, Madam Speaker, I can tell you we need to congratulate ourselves, Madam Speaker, for standing firm, and also your office as the office of the Speaker, the Parliamentary Budget Office, and many others, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, when we finally, on the issue of the performance of our counties, Madam Speaker. For example, in Nandi, according to Auditor General, there were 491 projects under the CIDP, County Integrated Development Plan. Nandi, only 310 are yet to start, 110 are stalled, and 1 is complete. Yet 1 project only, Madam Speaker. Yet we have dispersed for the last 4 financial years, Madam Speaker. We have not been able in Nandi to show something tangible, except a single project of an ECD, Madam Speaker. I think going into the future, we must agree the money we dispense must be done for the performance, Madam Speaker, for what intention that it was at. For example, in on-source revenue, we also need to challenge counties in on-source revenue. For example, in Nandi County, in the financial year of 17-18, they had projected 82 million. They ended up collecting 62 million, just to give 17-18. And you can see there could be leakages, because in Nandi we have cess, we have fees, we have run rates, run rent. We also have Kiborgo Tea Estate, which even the county government does not know the acreage. Yet we need that money, we need that cess, Madam Speaker, that can be used to make roads in Nandi, from Kiborgo Tea Estates, from the proceeds of cess. People in Chiamas area, people in Mosop are growing sugarcane. And that cess should be used to fix feeder roads, to provide bursaries, to ensure that our people get the money. And even our young men who drive border borders, they pay fees, they need proper parking areas where, and you know Nandi is very rainy, Madam Speaker. You need a proper place where you can park their border borders, Madam Speaker. So I want to say that with so uncertain terms in the on-source revenue, it is shocking that we have not performed very well. Even in Nandi, for example, in terms of local revenue collection, it has been a problem. And I don't think, Madam Speaker, the leakage is by design. It is not by default. Because it looks like there is a way governors operate, especially in my county, that they ensure they get some small money for Arambes and, of course, handouts, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, on the issue of health, which is very key, as we talk today, Madam Speaker, because I really wanted to mention this, because of COVID, all the hospitals from level 4, level 5, including my own hospital in Kapsabet County Referral Hospital, the thing that you can get in all dispensaries that we have in Nandi is only gloves and only painkillers. Yet our people are under attack from the COVID issues that we need to fix. Even as we roll out the vaccine across the counties, Madam Speaker, a Kapsabet County Referral Hospital, the other few months ago, the oxygen plant was collapsed and it was told. When the MCS wanted to visit, they were chased away. You go there, the generator that is there, standby generator, is functioning a half. You go like Chapter Y, Kaptumo and Mosoria, the generators that are there are not working. Yet we are working hard, Madam Speaker, to pass this cash disbursement. But when you go to ground, things are very different. That is, people tell you on the street, Madam Speaker, vitu ni different kwa ground. Because the money we are passing is not reaching the intended purpose that we are talking, Madam Speaker. Look, even, for example, we were in Nandi under CIDP, we were supposed to have 45 maternities, CIDP. But the county government for the last 4 financial years have achieved only 2 maternity wards. And it means, and even we only have 1 Gaina. And therefore our women from Maraba in Tindret, even in Chapter Y, and many other hospital cabinet, even in Mosoriat, in many other areas, including Kemela, Maraba area, and many others, they have to go to Western to get the services of a Gaina that should be assisting our women and issues of pediatric to our children, Madam. So you can see only 45 under the CIDP for 5 years. Out of 45 maternities that intended to construct, the only 2 have completed. You look at laboratories, Madam Speaker, that they were supposed every dispensary should have laboratories because of the prevalence of malaria in where I come from, and maybe amoeba and other diseases. It is easy to have laboratories so that our people can get tested and get the right medication. The intention of the county was to construct 124, Madam Speaker, but only 2 have been complete out of the 4 financial years. So it means that the money we are working here to be dispersed, the fight that we had here, Madam Speaker, might come to an exercise in futility, because the intention that we should have, Madam Speaker, is to ensure that our people are able to get proper medication. Even when you look at the ambulances, Madam Speaker, the CIDP, and you know, because we have been working in Nandi, Madam Speaker, I had opportunity, and I want to challenge my colleagues to be able to find time to know what is dispersed to their counties. I took an opportunity, and I want to thank the Office of the Controller of Budget, Madam Speaker. They have worked with us seamlessly. I wrote a letter to them and demanded to know the amount of money that Nandi County have dispersed since 17 up to 2021. Up to now, it's around 20 billion. And when you look at the money that has been given to Nandi vis-a-vis the projects that they have done, it is totally opposite. Nothing has been done. Because, for example, when you look at ambulance, they were supposed to be given 20, Madam Speaker. Yet, out of 20 ambulances that were budgeted under CIDP, Madam Speaker, only 0 has been delivered. Yet the money that goes to the department that we have is very, very unfortunate, Madam Speaker. Then we have disbursed almost 20 billion that Office of the Controller of Budget. And this disbursement, Madam Speaker, is not even inclusive to Nandi. It's not even inclusive of conditional grants and on-source revenue. These are equitable, shareable the disbursement that we have, Madam Speaker. And therefore, I think we need to be very careful, Madam Speaker. And also, I don't know how we will hold our counties accountable. Because any CIDP project that has been put, they are budgeted for. For example, in Nandi, as I conclude, Madam Speaker, is there are 13 new health facilities. Where you go there, they can't even access. By the time you go to places like Cherondo, you have to use gunia to carry people to hospital. When somebody dies, you have to use the kunia to carry their coffins up to the places like Cherondo and many others in Kapchorwa ward, Madam Speaker. Places like Kosoiwa, Kamamut, Kamnyarwat, Boy, Ndubeneti, Chepkemel, Mosombor, Siksik, Tamboya, Kibonse, Kamelilo, Chepyakoris, and Kabutiet are the places that they don't have access to dispensaries, Madam Speaker. And these are far-flung areas that these people should be able to walk in and ensure they get medication, Madam Speaker. You can imagine, God forbid, if somebody becomes sick, even to get what you call supplementary oxygen before they get, because of COVID that we're having at the moment, and you know it's ravaging our villages, Madam Speaker. So I think going into the future, Madam Speaker, we must agree on how to fix these things. Even most of these issues that have been devolved, Madam Speaker, when you look at even water projects, this is part of to ensure, you know, Madam Speaker, is when we have clean and accessible and safe water, it is important for our people, Madam Speaker. For example, and we need counties to be honest in terms of water provision. It is a human right, Madam Speaker. Clean water and access water is a human right. For example, in Nandi, all the water projects have yet to be started. Yet we have given them, and I've given you an example that the auditor controller of budget wrote that Nandi have received over 20 billion for the last 4 financial. But all the projects, one interesting thing, all tenders have been awarded in Nandi for water projects, but nothing has yet to start. They are violating Article 43 of the Constitution on access to clean water. For example, like Madam Speaker, we have Sinendet somewhere in Kemelai Maraba, Kamibe, Kemelai Maraba in Aldai sub-county, Biribriet in Chesumei, Nandils Town Spring, which should be serving the Nandils town, Madam Speaker, Kapkorio A and B in Kapsabet Ward, that is in Nandi County, Kapchobose, in water project in Nandi, all the water projects in Nandi County, Madam Speaker. Interestingly, the award of tenders has been given, but the work is yet to start, and money has been disbursed already, Madam Speaker. Yet our people cannot access safe and clean water. We want to prevent diseases that are waterborne diseases, Madam Speaker. How do we achieve this when the water as a function has been devolved and should be done within, Madam Speaker? And I think it is very sad. A town like Kapsabet, Madam Speaker, do not have clean water. The issues of sewerage, it's still being a challenge going into the future, Madam Speaker. And I think on the issue of closing that is that when you look at the health projects, Madam Speaker, in Nandi, the only complete project in Nandi in terms of health department is only a mock in Nandi Sub-County Hospital. So the question should be, why is the county in a hurry to finish and complete a mock as opposed as building an hospital? Yet I thought you treat. You don't want anybody to die. Why would you build? And that is the only achievement that the county government has done for the last 4 years. That is the only thing they can show for this more than 20 billion that has been allocated, including conditional grants going in the future. But Madam Speaker, finally, as you are aware, because Nandi is agricultural zone, just like your county was in Gishu, is that we depend largely on dairy, issues of tea, issues of sugarcane. Madam Speaker, I hope you have seen, I know you don't grow sugarcane in your county, but you can see the problems we are facing in Nyando because of the issues of sugarcane. And I hope, I don't know whether agriculture, I saw Senator Enoch Wambu, I don't know whether agriculture committee can act Suamoto. You saw that our farmers from Chemelil, Chemase, Kisumu County, and Nandi, because of mechanical breakdown in Kibos sugar, and I'm told it's in Zoia or Miwani that are doing partial maintenance, our farmers continue to suffer. We expected counties to step in and assist our farmers in terms of ensuring that sugarcane, farmers are able to sell sugarcane and be able to access. So I hope the agriculture can please intervene on the issue of farmers that continue to suffer. Madam Speaker, we depend on dairy, and I'm happy there are tea sector reforms that is ongoing, and many others and many issues. But for example, Madam Speaker, to conclude on the issue of cattle dips in Nandi, for example, because this money must be accountable. We were supposed for between 2017-18 financial year and 16-17, for the last, we are supposed to have constructed around 60 cattle dips, but only 10 have been complete. And yet money has been allocated to, even Nagrib, Madam Speaker. We also supposed to have 600 sex semen that is supposed to improve the milk production within Nandi. But up to now, nothing has been done for the last 4 years. So, Madam Speaker, this should go to all governors that they need to work hard and ensure that they give value for their money, transparency, fairness, and accountability going into the future, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I think going into, even look at the roads. I know you and me share the same problems. We have every info. The roads are very bad. For example, roads like in Chepkumya ward, some bridge is yet to be complete, and yet 2.1 million has been allocated. Somebody might say 2.1 is a small money, but it can change the life of a villager somewhere in Chepkumya. Even when you look at Ainab Setan, Box Culvert in Masab Sub-County, look at the other one in another one in Kapsabet ward, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, I want to appeal that the accountability is not negotiable. Finally, the COG, Madam Speaker, I think the only COG chair we had once was Isaac Ruto. The current COG, The current COG, Governor Wambora, cannot even ask the national government through even IBEC and other forums to release money to counties. And yet they say Senate is not doing its role. Our role is to pass cash disbursement, Madam Speaker, to pass CARA. It is the work of the COG to assist us, even in terms of accountability, Madam Speaker. They should be working and ensuring the governor, Wambora, and COG should be telling government to release the money. And also they should be working hand in hand to demand, Madam Speaker, that the COG, the national government delivers money on appropriate time and in time as per Article 219, Madam Speaker. It is not a favor that they are looking for, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, I wish Senator Malala would listen to this, because I have seen his intention to run for governor in Kakamega. It is important that he listens. So he listens so that we don't want to, and I know Senator Malala, some of us will be running for governor, quite a number, Senator Achila Yako, a number of us will be running for governor. Madam Speaker, we don't need to see the same mistakes. I hope, Senator Malala, you appreciate that you are arrested because of this formula. Please don't go repeat the mistakes that we are seeing in Kakamega County government. And you are doing very well. I can see you are behind Musalia Mudavadi, which is okay. But what I'm begging of you, even, I don't know, my brother, retired Chief Justice Senator Stewart Madza would be running, but I hope he will assist somebody who will be a governor to run better, because we fought for these things. Even you, Madam Senator Professor Kamar, although you are yet to confirm, some indications could be telling us you are headed into that direction. And as your neighbor, God willing, we might meet in COG. I know for Senator Wetangula is going for higher things than all of us for the presidency. So Madam Speaker, but the reason I'm making this is that if God willing, some of us become governors, let us not repeat these mistakes. Let us know the value and the hard work we have put to ensure that these resources go to the necessary. And I want to thank Senator Kibiru. He has been very steadfast. And I want to request Kibiru, next time you have an urgent issue like this, kindly allow us to come for special sitting so that our counties do not have to cry. But I want to thank Senator Kibiru and his committee. They have been very steadfast. They have been and I hope as the money goes to Kirinyaga, the current governor can appreciate the fact that you have really fought for this money. You have also been the chair. I can see she's wobbling. She was saying Mount Kenya this way, wants to run for, and we welcome everybody, Madam Speaker, to UDA and Wheelbarrow Movement, so that this is where issues of ASLA can be fixed going into the future, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, I really want to thank you for this opportunity. I hope colleagues, Madam Speaker, and in future such motion of such intent, I would wish all 67 of us could have an opportunity, because this is our core mandate. The issue of division of revenue is very core mandate, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I thought you would add me 1 minute after endorsing you, but anyway, next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Harkura Godana, Senator of Marsabit.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to contribute to this motion on the adoption of the disbursement schedule by the Senate. Madam Speaker, one of the main functions of Senate is this, that is protection of devolution, that's the counties and their governments. And the most important thing in devolution is actually resources. Because if you look at the history of this country, when we had the first regional governments, the way they were wound up is by denying resources. So when we see that the counties can go for 2 months without funds, then we have to be very careful, because we might be going down the same road. Somebody who doesn't want devolution to work will not say he doesn't want devolution, he'll just make sure it doesn't get resources, and that's where we may be heading, and we have to be careful. But, Madam Speaker, in performing our functions, we know very well that the process is clearly stated out. We come up with the formula, revenue sharing formula. I'm sure last time when we were working on that formula, it was very clear that it's a very important exercise for this House, and we had to clearly state our grounds, and we had to make sure that whatever formula we come come up with doesn't disadvantage any part of this country. And I thank my colleagues because we made sure as a House that we came up with a formula where no county was losing. Also, if you look at the few years we had, this Senate had to work hard to make sure that we participate fully in this process, right from the division of revenue, where at the beginning in the first Senate, there was a feeling that from the National Assembly that Senate has no business in division of revenue. We'll just have to sit and wait. If they're going to give us 0 shillings to share among the counties, that's what we're supposed to share. But we went to court and we made sure that it's not possible that way. We have to get our rights, and that is why we participate in that division of revenue. And even after that, once we have ensured that division of revenue has to be done, the other time, there was also the issue of what comes first. Is it the national budget, which is being passed by the National Assembly, or division of revenue? Because National Assembly was feeling that they can still go ahead with the budget while we're arguing on division of revenue. But the courts were very clear that it's not possible. There must be a division of revenue first before we go for the national budget, so that the National Assembly budgets for the national government on whatever they have been given from the division of revenue. Because there has been a situation like the national government felt that it's doing the counties a favor, is a prefect over the counties, but actually the law is very clear, the Constitution is very clear. These are all levels of government which are being clearly stated out, and their relationship is supposed to be, they should be complementing, and there should be cooperation between the two, but none should not be seen to be lording over the other. And that is why the courts were very clear that division of revenue has to be done first, so that we know what is for the counties and what's for the national government. Then it's after that that we have to do the allocation of revenue, the horizontal one among the counties, which we have done. But the sad thing is this: the third month, the first quarter of the year is ending, and counties have no money. We have county staffs who have gone for the last 2 months, now going to the third month without salaries. Of course, services are not there when it comes to medical services, when it comes to other services, like right now, some parts of these countries, like the arid regions, where some of us represent, are experiencing serious droughts. Boreholes are already collapsing because of overdrawing of water. There is a need for relief food to the residents who already have their source of livelihoods in terms of livestock are already facing drought. The counties are supposed to come in at this level. But because of not having funds, all that is now being fertilized. The counties are not doing their work. But actually, it's the national government, especially the Treasury, which is not disbursing the money. We are being told that it's because there is no revenue collection, or it is not enough. Whatever is there should be shared, so that if there is shortage, it will be felt even at the national level and even at the county level. But now the counties have not gotten anything for the last 2 months. 2.5, actually, by next week, 15, they should be getting the third tranche, which they have not received. So it looks like there is a plan to make sure that counties are seen not to be working, counties are sabotaged, and at the end of the day, then will be kind of trying to undermine devolution, which has to come very clearly that counties have to receive money. If you look at the figures in the disbursement schedule, it means that by now, counties should have received, by mid-last month, 61 billion shillings, according to this disbursement schedule, which up to now they haven't received. By the third month, then you add 31, that's about 93 billion shillings, which the counties will have received by next week, that's 15th of September. They have not received to date. And of course, KRA is collecting revenue. So we cannot be told that it's because revenue is not being collected. My own county, by the first month of the financial year, July, it should have received 582 million. By mid-August, it should have been 618. By mid-September, it should be 618, a total of 1.8 billion, which they have not received any. That shows how much counties are being strangled. And I think it's high time the National Treasury understands that its sole purpose, most important purpose, is to make sure they manage the government resources prudently and make sure that they disburse as required. Even if there is a strain on the resources, which we know most of it is because of the reckless borrowing we have gone into, whereby more than 70% of our revenue is going into servicing of debts, which is a situation we have put ourselves in, but by not living within our means. And these are some of the effects, but even these effects need to be shared. Counties also need to have been receiving something. If there was goodwill from the national government, national treasury, then the county should have received something. But if they haven't received, then it shows very clearly that we're having problems. And lastly, on the issue of the delay in this schedule, as Senator Cherargei has put it clearly, there are timelines. It's for the CS Treasury to come up with these schedules immediately after we have passed the County Allocation of Revenue Act. Once that act has been assented to by the President, then it gives 15 days for the CS to come up with this schedule. Now we are close to 40 days. So you can see where the problem is, and this need not to be repeated, and people have to take their work seriously. When you go into a job, then that is what should be your first concern. Otherwise, Kenyans are suffering because somebody is not doing his work, and that is not good. Madam Speaker, I urge that we take also, as members of the Senate, we quickly go through this motion and make sure that we approve this disbursement so that we can now pass the ball back to the Treasury to make sure they disperse these funds to the counties, because people are suffering because of these funds not being released to the counties. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Mbogo George Ochilo Ayako.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to make a few remarks regarding this very important matter. Madam Speaker, a budget, just like food, its importance and its usefulness is only found in the disbursement. Food, you only got to know or get to know whether it tastes good when you eat it. We, as a Senate, have done our bit. We have pushed one another, and we have equally pushed the national government to give us additional funding. When those funds are not disbursed to counties, they remain beautiful in the books, but they are surely not useful for the people they were intended to provide services for. Madam Speaker, this Senate has never stopped and will never stop at just passing the budget, but will provide a schedule that should be complied with by the National Treasury. Madam Speaker, the National Treasury year in, year out has failed to comply with that schedule, and even the one that we are debating today is unlikely to be complied with. This is why I think we should relook at the Constitution, amend it, and create a national treasury for both levels of government. This idea of having one national treasury to serve both levels of government creates a preference, creates an inclination for the national treasury to be only sensitive on matters that affect the national government, and does not act with alacrity on matters that affect county governments. People live in counties, people suffer in counties, and people expect to be served in counties. The surest way of killing devolution is to fund county activities in a manner that is not intermittent or regular, in a manner that is guesswork, so that activities in the counties become guess activities. So, Madam Speaker, this resolution that we are about to pass, as beautiful as it is, would require an enforcement mechanism so that we do not pass such resolutions in vain. Now, Madam Speaker, I have had, together with my committee of CPIC, the privilege of looking at the audited accounts, and there are three features, there are three issues that never go away, and they relate squarely to poor or late disbursement of funds. The first one is called budgetary performance. When we, as your committee, look at the budgetary performance of counties, it does appear that the late disbursement of funds to these counties contribute to very poor budgetary performance. Counties are unable to absorb funds that are located for recurrent activities because those funds are not there. Counties are unable to absorb and utilize funds that are located for development activities because those funds are never disbursed. So when the financial year is closed, which is normally 30th of June, you will find that counties in their books still report that they have not received the funds, and the Auditor General records that there is poor absorption of funds. So this is an issue that is squarely blamable on the Treasury, but the sufferers are the public who should be recipient of services that have to be procured using the cash that is never disbursed. So this is an issue that we as a committee, this is an issue that we as a Senate keep lamenting about, but I think we need to equip ourselves better to deal with this issue. If we do not deal with this issue, devolution will remain a mirage, devolution will not give joy and will not cure the litany of issues and ailments that afflict citizens in our counties. The second issue that is a common occurrence in the Auditor General's book is Auditor General's report are issues regarding stalled projects. You will find that every county, including my own county, claim that projects that they started in any particular financial year at its closure are stalling to the extent of 90% of those projects. They attribute such stalling to late or poor disbursement of funds. They reckon that the contractors have to get out of sight, the contractors have to sue them, the activities have to stop because funds are never stalled. These projects that are initiated are the projects that people expect to benefit from or utilize during the course of that financial year. So the issue of stalled projects justifiably are attributable to late disbursement of funds. And as we continue on this path of allowing National Treasury never to disburse funds, we are going to stall as a nation, we are going to stall as a people, we are going to stall as counties, and this will have devastating and far-reaching consequences that had better be arrested as soon as possible. Sometimes national government callously says that there are no funds to disburse. I do not think that is the situation. The penchant with which we borrow expensive money from unknown sources, from faceless organizations, is worrying. These borrowed monies, I don't know to which entities they are disbursed and why they are borrowed. Because we continue borrowing, but the actual activities that require prioritization when it comes to funding are never funded. So we end up with stalled projects, we end up with a poor budget performance, and we also end up having poor budget control, because when the final disbursement is normally released towards the end of the financial year or soon after the financial year has ended, it becomes problematic, because at that particular time it is not possible to enter into contracts. There may be only 1 week in that financial year left, so it's not possible to enter into any contract. It's also not possible to find out how that money is spent. So we get into a situation where budgetary control and performance become a problem. Now, the other item that is conspicuously visible in the Auditor General's report is the issue of pending bills. Bills spent, and those who are responsible for paying them claim that they paid because they did not have money, and they claim that they did not have money because money was never disbursed in a time. Pending bills are sticking out in counties like Southam. Contractors in my county, Migori, are blacklisted by banks. Banks can never lend them money to complete projects that they have been awarded to perform or implement in the counties, because the banks have come by the knowledge that the counties will never disburse funds. Now, these projects also have other contracts related to casuals who perform them, to other suppliers. So a particular stalled project and a particular pending bill causes a lot of suffering and difficulty for everybody associated with that project. If you are a laborer who is constructing perhaps the county headquarters in Migori, or the governor's residence, or the speaker's residence, you depend on the payment that you are given as a casual to meet your daily obligations. And when the government of the county is unable to give you that money, unfortunately, you are unable to offset your obligations and you live a miserable life. So, Madam Speaker, I want to conclude that the issue of disbursement of funds is an important issue. It is an issue that should not be treated casually. It is an issue that goes to the very heart of survival of devolution and the relevance of county governments. How I wish that the current government, national, and the future government, national government, would prioritize the the establishment, proper establishment of devolved units, proper support to devolved units in their manifestos when they are seeking votes. Madam Speaker, I am just about to conclude, so allow me to decline the request for information because I am...
Yeah, he's already responding that he doesn't want to be informed. Is that so?
I want you to be given an opportunity to contribute on your own.
You cannot change point of information to order. Okay, so I hope you are not informing. You are on a real point of order.
Yes, is it in order, Madam Speaker, for Senator, my senior, Ochilo Ayako, to insinuate that they are not in government? Because he's implying current government, and he is in government. Actually, they've taken most of the committee chairs, well, and actually, Madam Speaker...
That's not a point of order, Senator.
Yes, okay, but he has noted. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Maybe it was information that he did not want. Thank you. Senator Ochilo Ayako, please wind up.
I am, but allow me to just put the record straight. The government has 3 arms, and everybody here is part of an arm of government. We are not here as busybodies. We are here as distinguished senators flying the flag of Kenya. And Senator Wetangula may wish to clarify that. I do not serve in the executive. Even those on the majority side do not serve in the executive. But we are all public officials serving the people of Kenya from this arm of government. Madam Speaker, I just wish to conclude by saying that being a member of the Finance Committee and being senators, it is our responsibility as a Senate to find a lasting solution to this. We are going to pass this cash disbursement schedule as has been done in the past. It will be ignored as it has been ignored in the past, and that is unfortunate. Our time has come for us to think of a way and a mechanism that what we pass here does not happen in vain. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and I beg to support.
Senator Wetangula Moses.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this is one of our core mandates as senators to preside over allocation of revenue, and in our wisdom as legislators, we have also gone beyond allocation of revenue. We are now superintending over the Treasury's responsibility to disburse funds to the counties and the times at which such funds should be disbursed. Madam Speaker, this schedule carries the signature of the official signatory to the Treasury of the Republic of Kenya, the Minister for Finance, Honorable Ambassador Uhuru Yatan. And I believe, Madam Speaker, that this signature means something, that this signature will be honored to the letter, and that these schedules we have said, Madam Speaker, will be respected and funds will be disbursed to counties on time. Madam Speaker, even as we constantly cry the misuse of funds, the theft of funds by governors and their cohorts, Madam Speaker, devolution remains the 2010 constitutional gift to the people of Kenya. It is devolution that has changed many things in the counties. Counties, Madam Speaker, that were classified as ASAL, counties that were sometimes close districts, like where my sister here, Isiolo, comes from, like West Pokot, now they can sit in their capitals and determine their agenda. Now they can sit in their capitals with however little money they get and take control of their destiny. Well used, Madam Speaker, the money that this Senate allocates to counties can do a lot. Of course, unfortunately, we have situations where most, if not almost all counties are net exporters of capital to Nairobi. We fight to take money to Kakamega, we fight to take money to Isiolo, we fight to take money to Bomet, everywhere, Bungoma. Those we have entrusted with the management of the money steal it and bring it to buy prestigious properties in Nairobi. So counties are now out there sustaining and improving the economy of Nairobi at the expense of the people who should benefit from devolution. As my colleague from Migori has said, Madam Speaker, the Treasury has not lived to its billing in terms of disbursement of funds. And sometimes we who sit in the Committee of Finance are treated to a charade where governors say we have not received the money, the Treasurer said we have disbursed all the money. But now, Madam Speaker, with this schedule, our committee, chaired by my able colleague from Kirinyaga, should have quarterly meetings with the minister to confirm that the disbursements have actually been done, and the minister should and must be obligated to come before the Committee of Finance quarterly to table the disbursements that he has released to the counties. Once this is done, Madam Speaker, then we have to hold the institutions of governance in this country also to account. There is absolutely no reason, Madam Speaker, for this House to fight. You remember the standoff we had on the division of revenue formula. 12 times, the formula came here and failed, Madam Speaker, until we came together in a bipartisan manner and agreed on a formula. Now, this money that goes to the counties, Madam Speaker, unfortunately, we have quite a couple of governors who don't know the difference between public resources and private resources. The money goes to the counties, and governors think it is their private enterprise. Some are even resorting, Madam Speaker, to spending public resources. And my distinguished young senator from Kakamega, Senator Malala, saw this in Bungoma over the weekend, where the governor spends public resources to hire hooligans and goons to go with to funerals, and they attacked and injured some young people accompanying Senator Malala to the funeral of his personal assistant. It's a shame, Madam Speaker. There is nobody out there who has money to hire goons. They are using public resources. And it's an abuse of resources. And as this is happening, institutions of governance are watching. The police are there, watching helplessly. Maybe they are on the pay of the same offending governors. We want to see the Auditor General auditing to find out on what vote in any county does money come from to pay hooligans to terrorize people. Which vote has this kind of money? Because, Madam Speaker, all leaders in this country must be held to account. Public resources are public resources. And we want to warn these governors, Madam Speaker, that there is no time limit on criminal responsibility. Even if you think you are on the right side of the sitting government and you get away today, you will be caught up with in the future. You will be caught up with when you leave office. Africa has dots and dots of people. Look at what's happening to President Zuma in South Africa. When he was in office, I'm sure he never believed that what is happening to him would happen to him. But because there is no time limit on criminal responsibility, you will be caught up with. And all the lages that you have from the ill-gotten wealth, you will be held to account. And the people of this country demand accountability, and accountability in the use of public resources is not an option for anybody. It is not. So as we disburse these funds, Madam Speaker, Senator Ayako has just been telling us how he's chairing CPAC. But CPAC, Madam Speaker, has also not been doing very well. Because when you hear the gossips going out there from governors, that when they come to CPAC, they come carrying briefcases, then we also compromise our responsibility as a house that must oversight the success of devolution. Madam Speaker, I also want to urge my chair, and this we have discussed and agreed, that we fast track the amendment to the PFM Act so that county assemblies get their direct disbursements from the Treasury, so that they are not held at ransom by offensive governors. Because, Madam Speaker, if the county assemblies are going to discharge their responsibility as primary oversight institutions in the counties, you cannot expect them to do a good job if their salaries are determined, their allowances are determined, whatever they do is determined by governors who give them money as and when they feel that they should give them something. In fact, in many cases, they blackmail them before they give them the money. And he who pays the piper calls the tune. We must have, Madam Speaker, and my chairman, you are here, we have agreed this in the committee, you must fast track the amendment and bring it here so that we free county assemblies from the clutches of greedy governors who think that they own the county, they own the assembly, they own everything. It is not the right thing, Madam Speaker. Even here, as we can take a leaf from our own parliament, parliament is not dependent on the executive to run our budget. We have our own budget, disbursed directly to Parliamentary Service Commission. That is why Parliament can and does summon any office of government to come and account. This morning, Madam Speaker, in our Committee of Security, where they had invited the Inspector General, when he sent his personal assistant, I think you are the one chairing, Madam Speaker, and I salute you for this. You sent him away and told him, you are a personal assistant to the Inspector General. You cannot be constitutional, the Inspector General. And his level of accountability to the people of Kenya is personal and constitutional. It cannot be delegated. He has already been delegated with authority under the Constitution. And the law says a delegate cannot delegate. Delegatus non est delegares. A delegate cannot delegate. You must carry your responsibility. So this disbursement, Madam Speaker, is important. But like one of the senators said, we have passed this before. We put it in our records. It goes to the Treasury. The Treasury has ignored it before. I hope they will not ignore this time. The Constitution and the law, Madam Speaker, must have teeth. That whoever does not honor what the law says must be held to be personally accountable, so that we have these resources going to support our people in the villages who woke up in 2010 and queued not to vote for any individual, but in the words of the Constitution, we, the people of Kenya, giving ourselves authority and power, we vote for this Constitution to determine our destiny going to the future. I want to urge, Madam Speaker, that we pass this. My county is getting a whooping 10.6 billion before we add on conditional grants, which are coming through the grants bill. So we'll end up with about 12.6.7 billion, which money must be used for health, for roads, for support of farmers, support of women, support of youths. You go to counties where they have youth programs only in books. Nothing goes on. The only youths who are supported are those ones who are actually abused by those in authority, by putting them in danger, hiring them, giving them crude weapons, and setting them to fight each other. It's a big shame, Madam Speaker. I want to urge the Auditor General, and so far she's doing a very good job from the reports that we see. She's climbing hills that people fear climbing. She's bringing reports that are pointing out massive losses of public resources, and there ends her duty. She's a servant of Parliament. Once she audits and releases her report, the Houses of Parliament must then hold the DPP, the CID, the ESCC accountable in terms of recovery of stolen resources and punishment of the thieves of these resources. We live in a country, Madam Speaker, where people are respected not because of the content of their heads and character, but because of the weight of their pockets. And this is not right. This is not right. You hear, Madam Speaker, communities, when you tell them that so-and-so is not an accountable leader, they say he's a thief, but he's our thief. We must change this cycle, because a thief in Moyale, and a thief in Bungoma, and a thief in Mombasa, mwizi hana jina lingine, is just a thief and is an enemy of the people of Kenya. And they must be dealt with as such. Anybody who dips his hand in the public till is an enemy of the people of Kenya. Because like my distinguished young senator from Kakamega said, a child from Garissa deserves what a child in Nairobi deserves what a child resources to private resources, and children are dying while they're building palaces in Nairobi. It is a failure on our system. And we must collectively either carry the shame or shoulder the responsibility to correct our society. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Malala Cleophas.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I've been notified by my good Chair of Finance that he's just about to move the grants bill. Therefore, I should limit my time, and therefore I will go by his request. I'll only use 5 minutes. For the record, Madam Speaker, I want to support this very important business this afternoon. Madam Speaker, it must go on record that today, as the Senator for Kakamega, I am passing the disbursement schedule that will ensure, cumulatively in this financial year, Kakamega County gets 12.34 billion Kenya shillings. Madam, before grants. Because, Madam Speaker, we are alive with the fact that after we pass the grants bill, we shall come here again and pass the grants that are supposed to go to our respective counties. And therefore, we are going to get more than 12.34 billion for the financial year 2021-2022. Madam Speaker, theoretically, when you look at this document, Madam Speaker, I think if the monies are disbursed timely, according to this document, I have seen every month we shall be having monies being disbursed to our respective counties. Theoretically, it makes sense. But practically, Madam Speaker, in the past, our counties have not been receiving their disbursements in good time. And therefore, this calls for a better way to implement this schedule that we are passing here today, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, delayed disbursements to our respective counties affect so many things. In some counties, Madam Speaker, you find that we have health workers who have not been paid since January. We have, in Kakamega County, Madam Speaker, we have the Kazi Mashinani workers who have not earned a single cent since January this year. Yet, monies have been disbursed to the counties, Madam Speaker. And therefore, this calls for timely disbursement, Madam Speaker. Second, Madam Speaker, let disbursement of monies to the counties affect service delivery. We have some services, say the cleaning services, Madam Speaker, which require timely disbursement of monies to pay the companies which are undertaking that exercise, Madam Speaker. But if we have delayed disbursements of monies, Madam Speaker, to our counties, we shall therefore affect service delivery at the county level. We have issues of procurement of essential things like medication in our hospitals, Madam Speaker. You find a situation whereby we have a clinic that is open, but it has no medicine, Madam Speaker. All this has been occasioned by delayed disbursement of funds, and therefore it is important for this House to rise to the occasion, Madam Speaker, and ensure it performs its oversight role and pushes the Treasury to ensure that they disburse monies in correct timings, Madam Speaker. And as Senator Wetangula has suggested, we need to be summoning here the CS Treasury to be accountable to this House and to tell us how he has disbursed monies quarterly. Madam Speaker, I think this, we leave it to the chairperson of finance to ensure that we man the process of disbursement of monies to the counties every quarter as we move on, so that we do not just pass the schedule and leave it now to the Treasury to implement it the way it is, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this has also affected county governments. We have county government which has pending bills since 2013. We have suppliers and contractors who have strained financially, Madam Speaker. We have contractors who have even died out of stress, Madam Speaker. We have contractors who have offered services to the county government. They have certificates which are pending to be paid, Madam Speaker, and yet they have not been paid because of late disbursement of money, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is important, Madam Speaker, as we pass this schedule here today, we also remind our respective governors, Madam Speaker, that once these monies are released to the county governments, let them prioritize first dealing with pending bills, because they are accumulating bills, Madam Speaker, which is putting our counties, Madam Speaker, in very hard financial status, Madam Speaker. And therefore, when they receive this money, let them also practice financial prudence, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker. We have county governments which do not prioritize their monies, Madam Speaker. If we receive these monies on a monthly basis, as a governor, you have no reason not to pay salaries. As a governor, you have no reason not to take up your monthly obligations, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is important that we remind the governors who are going to take part in appropriating these funds, Madam Speaker, to ensure that they do prioritize the finances when they get to them, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this is the last financial year to most, to the governors who are, especially the second-term governors. We are coming to the end of their tenure, and it is important, Madam Speaker, no governor should leave large pending bills to the coming dispensation, Madam Speaker. It is important that the Auditor General, that the Treasury ensures that governors who came in 2013 leave their counties when they have paid their baggage. Most of the governors, Madam Speaker, are overcommitting the county government, so that when they leave the baggage to the incoming governors, Madam Speaker. We want to cushion the coming dispensations, Madam Speaker, so that we ensure that when some of us take up government in the next dispensation, Madam Speaker, we do not inherit baggage from these governors. And therefore, we shall be insisting as senators to ensure that all the pending contracts are done before the end of this financial year. We want, personally, I will ensure that the projects Governor Oparanya began in 2013, and especially the flagship projects, Madam Speaker. I am alive of the fact that governments do not exist in terms of political lifelines. But we must ensure that whatever was started by Governor Oparanya, Madam Speaker, must be completed before he gets out of office. He committed almost 6 billion Kenya shillings to do Kakamega Referral Hospital. Madam Speaker, as we speak right now, the contractor for Kakamega Referral Hospital withdrew from the site since January 21st, Madam Speaker. Up to now, nothing is going on in the construction of Kakamega Referral Hospital. And therefore, it is important that as the Senator of Kakamega, I will insist that Governor Oparanya must commit these funds that we are passing here today to ensure that we have a Kakamega Referral Hospital before he leaves office. I am also going to ensure that the project is started, the phase 2 of Buhungu Stadium, which he committed almost 2.7 billion Kenya shillings. He must complete that project before he leaves this tenure. Madam Speaker, Governor Oparanya started in 2015 Shamahubu Level 4 Hospital. Up to date, that hospital, that project has stalled. As the Senator for Kakamega, I am going to ensure that Governor Oparanya be accountable to the people of Shinyalu by completing Shamahubu Health Center, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Governor Oparanya started a project called Shinyalu Tea Factory. Up to now, he has only erected there a toilet, a 6-door toilet. You wonder is a tea factory equivalent to a toilet, Madam Speaker. As the Senator of Kakamega, I am going to ensure that before Governor Oparanya thinks of leaving his current office, Madam Speaker, he must ensure that the people of Shinyalu, Ikolomani, Huisero, and all the tea farmers in Kakamega get the Shinyalu tea factory. It is sad, Madam Speaker, that the Malava milk processing plant has stalled in Kakamega. Nothing is going on, yet it was a flagship project which was initiated in his tenure, Madam Speaker. Since 2016, nothing has been done about Malava milk processing plant. As the Senator of Kakamega, I want to warn and tell Governor Oparanya we are releasing 12.34 billion Kenya shillings here today. You must complete those projects. This is not your personal money. This is not your family money. This is not your pocket money. These are the resources of the people of Kakamega. And therefore, today as I pass this schedule here, I want to tell you it will not be business as usual, Oparanya. We are going to ensure that you finish all your flagship projects. The maize processing plant that you promised the people of Kakamega, you are remaining with 10 months to the end of your tenure. The people of Lugari have no maize processing plant, Mr. Oparanya. And therefore it is important today we remind you that we have a scorecard for you. You've been in office since 2013, and it is my responsibility as the Senator of Kakamega to ensure that you finish these projects for the benefit of our people. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, I want to implore upon the Treasury to ensure that timely disbursement of money is done to the county government so that we do not have people hiding behind this late disbursement issue. But again, when you look at it critically, the Treasury has tried, because as we speak right now, we do not have any monies pending to the counties in the last financial year. It means that the Treasury has already disbursed monies for 2020-2021 financial year. And therefore, there is no reason for any governor in this Republic of Kenya to try and say that they have pending bills, yet the Treasury has already disbursed full amounts since devolution started. And therefore, governors are the ones to blame. It is our responsibility as senators to ensure that we man these governors, especially these remaining 10 months to the elections. Lastly, this is an electioneering year. We want to ask those governors who have aspirations to either vie as second-term governors and or as presidential candidates to tell them that we are going to microscopically oversight their funds. They are not going to use these funds to do campaigns, Madam Speaker. We have seen governors using public funds to do campaigns. We have seen government vehicles on convoys, Madam Speaker, propagating or championing a certain aspiration in the county government, Madam Speaker. We are going to ensure that no government machinery, no county government asset is being used in campaigns, Madam Speaker. I am going to be on the forefront to tell all the prosecutory organs to be vigilant about governors who are going to use county government machinery to campaign. If you want to campaign, and this is also a warning to because I speak for Kakamega, and we only have one governor in Kakamega called Oparanya, this is a warning. When we go to the weekend, if we see you using county government machinery to campaign, we shall tell the police to arrest you, and if the police fails to arrest you, we shall use other means to ensure that you do not use county government machinery to campaign. Thank you.
I hope that is not a threat. I hope
no, it's not a threat.
Other peaceful means.
Yes, other peaceful means.
Or legal means.
Yes, but yes, I'm willing to be informed.
Yes, Senator Wetangula, you would better inform him about
I want to inform my distinguished
the implications of his
Kakamega
statements.
that actually under the Constitution and the law, there is what we call the power of citizens to arrest. And citizens, where the law enforcement officers fail or omit or ignore, citizens can exercise that power within the law, arrest an offender and hand over to agencies for prosecution.
Thank you, my senior Senator Wetangula. I will faithfully follow your instructions. We shall give a chance to the police officers to try to arrest the governors who will be misusing our resources, but failure to which I will use your second advice of using the citizens to arrest and take them to police. Thank you.
Citizens to lawfully arrest. Okay, Senator Inima Gertrude Musurube.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to add my voice to this motion. And I support this motion on disbursement of funds to county governments. And when we look at the constitutional mandate of county governments, they are very specific. In the second schedule, we have part 2. There are 14 specific functions of county governments. And these functions cannot actually be achieved or implemented without funds. So when it comes to funds, there are no two options. Funds have to be disbursed, and they have to be disbursed as fast as even yesterday, Honorable Speaker. Because, Honorable Speaker, we must all remember that the Senate is about county governments and ensuring that services reach the common man. And this cannot happen if money is not there. Honorable Speaker, it is clearly so that the Kenya government was part of the state parties that signed the Abuja Declaration, that signed the Maputo Declaration, and these two declarations are very important in ensuring that farmers are able to do their work, farmers are able to be encouraged, and farmers are able to be boosted in their activities, Honorable Speaker. So when money is sent to counties, it is just the owners of county governments to ensure that they're doing something to motivate farmers, and apart from motivating farmers, it is also the owners of county governments to ensure that health centers are also up to date. And I want to insist, Honorable Speaker, that when it comes to health also, we have no two options, because health is important. And I want to give an instance of what I've seen in the county government, Honorable Speaker. In my county works, in my constituency, when I visited Lumakanda Hospital, it is actually a level 3 district hospital. It is a referral hospital. But it is unfortunate that when you go to Lumakanda Hospital, District Hospital, you find that there are no drugs. You find that even when it comes to the maternity wing, it is not equipped. Sometimes even patients are sharing beds. And this should not happen in a county where, we are insisting that we are following the declarations that Kenya signed. So I want to say, Honorable Speaker, that county governments have a mandate to ensure that they are fulfilling the constitutional requirement. And Honorable Speaker, another mandate of the county government that I've seen that county governments are not doing, and I've seen it even in Kakamega. In my works in Kakamega, I've worked to different wards. I've worked to Lumakanda ward. I've worked to also Mautuma wards. I've worked to Lugari wards, and I've seen that there are still schools that are made of mud. You find that the walls are erected of mud, and then when it comes to the floor is carpeted with actually cow dung. This should not happen in a situation where money is being taken to county governments. So it is important that money is taken to county governments, but there's need to oversight to ensure that county governments are actually doing their mandate. And I want to say, as a resident and as a leader in Lugari, that I'm not happy about the situation as I see it in Lugari, where there's some schools that are made of mud, and it is my desire that all schools in Lugari should be made of stone, permanent structures, Honorable Speaker, because if they're not permanent structures, it will have an impact also on the learners. So in some schools, Honorable Speaker, well, the houses, the structures are not made of, concrete stone. You'll find that even children have jiggers. We must avoid such eventuality, Honorable Speaker. And I want to say, Honorable Speaker, it is a pity that when I walk to Lugari, Lumakanda District Hospital also, I see mothers going through a harrowing moment when it comes to delivery and services. And this is something that must be corrected, and I want to see corrected in Lugari, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, county governments know very well that they have a duty also to encourage farmers, especially in a place like Lugari that farms in maize. There is need for county governments to ensure that it's motivating farmers in all parts of the country so that they're encouraged to farm. So, some farmers are even abdicating their roles of farming simply because sometimes they sell, they plant their maize, but they do not have actually where to take their maize. And this is what the county government should do. It should ensure that farmers have an exit plan for their maize, just to encourage them. And Honorable Speaker, as I was walking also, in Mautuma, I remember just visiting my constituents, I saw that there are some roads that were impassable, Honorable Speaker. And this has an effect even on transportation. And I saw the painful moment that border people in Lugari are facing, Honorable Speaker. It should not happen, Honorable Speaker. County governments should ensure that all roads are accessible so that if someone wants to move from one section of the constituency to another, they'll be able to do that with ease, Honorable Speaker. Because I've seen also, Honorable Speaker, people stranded even with their crops. They've already harvested, but the roads are impassable. They don't know what to do, and especially during the rainy season, Honorable Speaker. There are some places in Chekalini you cannot even pass through because the roads are just impassable. They have not been marramed, and there's need for county governments to ensure that all roads, all rural roads, are accessible so that people are able to do their business with ease. People are able to move from one point to another, Honorable Speaker, and this is what even the leaders should insist that county governments should do, Honorable Speaker. So in as much as you are saying that money should be disbursed to counties, we need to really audit and confirm that the money that is disbursed is used prudently, Honorable Speaker, because this money belongs to wananchi, and wananchi must get the services, Honorable Speaker. So I want to support this statement, and I believe that even when monies go to the counties, the roads in Lugari will be marramed, the earth roads that are impassable are also marramed, the roads that need to be actually erected are also erected so that wananchi can have the services that they need, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, just a point to note, there's a lot of rural-urban migration. And this is because most of the time you'll find that in rural areas remain very unattractive, simply because the county governments have not developed, attractive sceneries, and it is a constitutional requirement. When you look at one of the functions, among the 14 functions of the county governments, they have to ensure that they are also coming up with attractive sites that will also encourage the youth to remain there and still be productive, Honorable Speaker. I have seen quite a number of, border riders. Sometimes they're even idle, and yet they have their borders. They do not have support. The county government should ensure that they're supporting even those border people in Lumakanda. They should ensure that they're supported. Even in Mautuma, they should be supported. Even in Chekalini, Luandeti, and all these places, the county government of Kakamega should ensure that it is holding the youth, the hands of the youth, and helping them be productive, Honorable Speaker. Because you cannot allow our youth to be idle. We must make sure that we are utilizing their energy. We must make sure that we are utilizing their minds, Honorable Speaker, and we must ensure that we are creating employment for our youth, Honorable Speaker, because we have to leave the baton to the right people, Honorable Speaker. But if we do not utilize them in the right way, Honorable Speaker, then we'll end up leaving the baton to people who are not ripe for the jobs, Honorable Speaker. I support this motion. Thank you.
I see no further interest on this one, and I therefore call upon the mover to respond. Senator Kibiru.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to respond, and as I respond, I want to extend our appreciation as a committee to the distinguished senators who have really contributed to this debate. But in the interest of time, of course, I will also summarize what they have highlighted, because shortly we'll be discussing the grants bill. So I request the senators who are around, please bear with us. Shortly we shall be discussing an equally important bill, and that is the county government's grants bill. Madam Speaker, many senators have emphasized the need for the National Treasury to wake up and instead of talking, do the work. So we will, as a committee, we have been requested that every quarter we should be calling the National Treasury to come and give us a report on the disbursement. Madam Speaker, like I mentioned in our report, we have given the Treasury, the National Treasury, 7 days from the day we approve the schedules to ensure that monies for the last 2 months, which is adding up to about 62 billion, is dispersed to the counties. Madam Speaker, senators, distinguished senators have emphasized the need for counties to ensure that once the funds get into the counties, the funds are optimally utilized. We need value for money, and Madam Speaker, I'm happy that Kirinyaga, my county, is getting close to 1 billion shillings before the grants, and I would really also request that that money is put into good use, especially into health services that the Kirinyaga people are complaining about. Madam Speaker, it was mentioned by Senator Wetangula about the issues that we have brought up in the amendments of the PFM Act. Madam Speaker, we have been working on the amendments, and soon we shall be tabling the amendment bill, where we shall do like Senator, where we have actually made sure that where county assemblies become independent and they can be able to utilize their funds. But besides that, Madam Speaker, we shall also be recommending a single treasury account where all the monies, where the government money, all the monies go. And Madam Speaker, the interest here is that counties, the National Treasury should never, ever delay disbursement to counties just because there are no funds. We are recommending that the National Treasury should be able to get an overdraft from the Central Bank of Kenya. After all, it is where all the money should be going. So, Madam Speaker, without much ado, pursuant to standing under 61.3, I request that you defer the putting of the question to another day. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Senators, this being a matter that touches the very core of the counties, and then calls for a vote by delegations, I therefore defer this matter to the next order paper. We now move to the next order.
Order number 10, the County Government's Grants Bill, Senate Bills number 35 of 2021, second reading.
Senator Kibiru, Chair, Standing Committee on Finance and Budget.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 141.1, I beg to move that the County Government's Grants Bill, Senate Bill number 35 of 2021, be led the second time. Madam Speaker, like I mentioned yesterday as I was going through the cash disbursement schedule motion, for the first time we have a schedule that does not include the conditional grants. This is as a result of a ruling that was made by our courts. And out of that, Madam Speaker, as a committee, we called a number of stakeholders, and we have been debating on the best way forward as per that ruling. Madam Speaker, as a committee, when we spoke to National Treasury, we spoke to Judiciary, we realized that we were mark timing. And as an initiative by the committee, we decided to come up with this bill. And it has followed all the procedures. And Madam Speaker, the County Government's Bill 2021, Senate Bill number 35 of 2021, primarily seeks to provide for the allocation and transfer of conditional allocations from the national government's share of revenue and from development partners of the county governments pursuant to Article 202 of the Constitution for the financial year 2021-2022. It provides for the framework for the management, control, and accounting for both conditional and non-conditional grants. Madam Speaker, Article 202 of the Constitution provides that county governments may be given additional allocation from the national government share of revenue, either conditionally or unconditionally. This bill, Madam Speaker, therefore, seeks to provide a framework for the transfer of additional allocation under Article 202 of the Constitution from the consolidated fund to the respective county revenue funds account. Further, Madam Speaker, the bill intends to comply with the High Court ruling, as I have mentioned, petition number 252 of 2016. In this matter, Madam Speaker, the court held that Article 202 of the Constitution, as led together with Article 218(1)(a) of the Constitution, do permit conditional or unconditional grants be provided for in the Annual Division of Revenue Act, or what we refer to as DOLA. The court held that such conditional or unconditional grants can be used to the county level of government under Article 190 of the Constitution, or through an agreement between the two levels of government that respects the institutional and functional integrity of both levels of government, but not in the annual Division of Revenue Act. So, Madam Speaker, this is where we got the departure, where we could not be able to combine the revenue, the shareable revenue, and the grants. Madam Speaker, the ruling had great impact in the manner in which conditional grants were managed in the country. Initially, they were included in the Division of Revenue. Consequently, allocation done through the County Allocation of Revenue Act, or CALA. With the High Court ruling, Madam Speaker, these cannot be contained in the DOLA and CALA. This is a departure from the tradition, and in line with the direction given in the ruling, the development prompted the committee to sponsor this bill, Madam Speaker, like I had mentioned. So, Madam Speaker, the bill is intended to facilitate the transfer of additional allocation to county governments from, 1, the national government's share of revenue to the counties, 2, proceeds of loans and grants from development partners. And this will ensure that additional funds are available to certain vital development functions such as agriculture, and housing. Madam Speaker, the bill provides that an agreement shall be entered into the, an agreement shall be entered into by the National Treasury with the respective county government, setting out all conditions attached to an allocation made under this Act. Any intergovernmental allocation under this law is required to be approved by the respective county assemblies. B, Madam Speaker, the bill states that public participation is a requirement for any intergovernmental agreements on conditional grants, which county governments may enter into. Thus, the county government must involve the respective residents before entering into any agreement. Madam Speaker, it's well spelled that the county governments cannot just wake up and get into an agreement. They must carry out public participation. Madam Speaker, further, the National Treasury shall submit to the Senate all agreements together with any other documents relating to it entered into with the county government. They shall be done within 7 days of entering into an agreement. Madam Speaker, we are very clear that we need to give timelines because, like we have seen before, we have institutions, including the National Treasury, that have no respect for time. They have no urgency in dispersing monies to the county. So, Madam Speaker, here they will be required within 7 days to submit the same to the Senate. The Cabinet Secretary shall publish a monthly report on actual transfers of all conditional allocations to county governments. Here we are talking about monthly reports that they will, by law, be required to publish. Further, the respective county governments' books of accounts should reflect all transfers on conditional allocations by the national government. This is an obligation to the county governments. Lastly, Madam Speaker, reporting by the county treasury on these conditional grants as part of the consolidated quarterly and annual reports as required under the Public Finance Management Act. Ordinarily, probably, Madam Speaker, previously, this could be, the counties were escaping with it, but we are putting it in law that it is mandatory that the county treasury must give the required reports as per the PFM Act. Madam Speaker, the bill further provides for the agreed upon conditional allocations grants earmarked for disbursement to various county governments for the financial year 2021. The conditional allocations from national government share of revenue of Kenya shillings 7.537 billion, including leasing of medical equipment, Kenya shillings 7.025 billion. Of course, we all know about the mess. The other one, Madam Speaker, is supplement to, for construction of county headquarters. This is for 5 counties, and there will be Kenya shillings 332 million Kenya shillings. Madam Speaker, for the conditional allocations from proceeds of loans and grants, we shall have Kenya shillings 32,343,890,512 for development partners, including A grant from the World Bank to finance transforming health systems for universal care project of Kenya shillings 2.235 billion. B, a World Bank credit to finance agricultural and rural inclusive growth project, NAGLIP, of Kenya shillings 6.395 billion. C, a World Bank loan to finance the Kenya Climate Smart Agriculture Project, KCSAP, of Kenya shillings 7.838 billion. D, a AU grant to finance instruments of devolution, advent and support, ideas program of Kenya shillings 230.30 million. E, a World Bank credit to finance water and sanitation development projects, WSDP, of Kenya shillings 5 billion. F, a grant by Danida to finance universal health care in devolved system program of Kenya shillings 701 million. G, a grant for the World Bank of Kenya Devolution Support Program, KDSP Level 2, known as KDSP Capacity Building Level 2, grant of Kenya shillings 4.6 billion Kenya shillings. A loan from the government of Sweden to finance agriculture sector development support program, 2 of Kenya shillings 1.3 billion. A both loan and grant from the Germany Development Bank, KfW, to finance drought resilience program in northeastern Kenya, DRPNK, of Kenya shillings 370 million. A credit from the World Bank to finance emergency locust response project, ELRP, of Kenya shillings 800 million. And K, a loan from the World Bank to finance Kenya Informal Settlement Improvement Program, KISP 2, of Kenya shillings 2.8 billion. And finally, Madam Speaker, a grant from the United Nations Fund for Population Activities, UNFPA, to finance the 9th county program implementation of Kenya shillings 73.866 million. Madam Speaker, you realize most of the funds that we have there are going to the services in the counties, especially in the health sector, and it is very important that we pass this bill so that the counties can get the money, especially with this pandemic that we are having of COVID, so that we can be able to give our people good services. And like the senators said, the county governments must be responsible with the funds that we are allocating and that we are approving that they be dispersed to them. Madam Speaker, since it is intended that this bill will be an annual bill, it is proposed that Public Finance Management Act, PFM 2012, be amended to necessitate simultaneous submission and consideration of the Division of Revenue Bill, the County Allocation of Revenue Bill, and the County Government Grants Bill. Madam Speaker, during the public participation, some stakeholders raised a few issues on the bill. These issues have since been considered, and the committee will be presenting a few amendments to the bill. Madam Speaker, the committee recommends that the bill be considered and approved expeditiously to allow county government access additional conditional allocations required to be utilized within the current financial year. Madam Speaker, like I have said, this is another straightforward bill, and I will be requesting senators to participate, and we approve it together with the cash disbursement schedules, so that we can be able to take money to the counties. And Madam Speaker, without many words, because like I've said, it's a straightforward one, I request my distinguished Vice Chairman to second the bill. Thank you.
Senator Ochilo Oyako.
Much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, issues of funds. I am told, Madam Speaker, that democracy in its modern sense arose out of issues of funds. And somewhere when Magna Carta was being written and being philosophized about, it was about no taxation without representation. The people who were paying taxes to the feudal system at that particular time were very offended at the fact that they were doing it without having representatives to air or to list their priorities. And we also, without having their representatives to oversee how their taxes would be used. Madam Speaker, this bill is a bill that is giving both national government and the county government an obligation to be scrutinized. Grants, conditional or otherwise, provide avenue for national government to keep certain funds and dump them in counties, purporting to assist counties without an accountability or oversight framework. You will find that the national government has constituted without this bill. The county governments as constituted without these bills. We'll find that national government, in the name of supporting counties, will purport to build a bridge, will purport to do waterworks without the agreement of the counties while spending taxpayers' money. That money will be given out to a specific county as a contract or as a grant. A contractor will be sourced, and then the item or whatever ostensibly is being, whatever ostensible reason for that grant will emerge through a contractor being identified to construct whatever it is. What is missing out of it is public participation. The public on whose ostensible behalf a public project is being constructed were not aware in their budget process as a county executive, as county residents, that such a thing would be prioritized in their county. The national government, through their overseers, those who oversight national government, the National Assembly, will not have held public participation to know that this grant, in quotes, would be having a footing in that county. So you end up with a situation where public resources are expended from the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Water, Ministry of Lands, Ministry of ICT, for a project in Homa Bay or Migori. Homa Bay or Migori people, or Kisumu people, or Nairobi people were not aware of that project. They were not consulted. It was not in their plan. That project has come. They may not know its importance. They may not use it. I want to give an example in Kakrao Ward in Migori County. In Kakrao Ward of Migori County is a big polytechnic that was constructed by national government. That polytechnic is big and monstrous, but it has no student. It has no student because there was no participation of members of the public from that ward, from Suna East, or from Migori County. It has no teaching staff, or whoever persons are purporting to be teachers there are expected to come from counties. Counties were not involved at its inception. Members of the county did not participate in prioritizing it. So that very big project is lying there. There is no public participation. The public funds have been expended out of it. In our books, both national and county, it is purporting to be beneficial to the people of Migori. We come to Awendo, where I was born and I come from. There is a grant that has been given to the people of Awendo. That grant is supposed to be for urban projects. When you are at Awendo, there is a field that some projects are going on. It looks like a park, it looks like a mini stadium, it looks like some public thing. But if you ask the people of Awendo, when they agreed to that thing, what they intend to do with that thing, and of what benefit it will be to them, they do not know. So I am suspicious and doubtful that they will utilize that activity well. But that project in our national books is purportedly for the people of Awendo and for their benefit. Now, how the contractor was identified, how much the contract is about, there is no framework to oversight it, because the National Assembly will oversight, will hold the national government to account for funds that are directly used by the national government. The county public funds will be oversighted by Senate, pursuant to Article 96 of the Constitution. So this grant is neither a national government project because it is directed at counties or it is domiciled in counties, but it's also not a county project because it did not pass through the county planning and budget. So who oversights it? So it is very dangerous to spend public money without a proper framework for oversight. We know that the counties need partnership and help from national government, and this is important. We actually want more money for counties. But when I began my presentation, I said that from the onset of democracy, it was about no taxation without representation. So taxes can never be spent. Public projects can never be initiated without the participation of the people and without involvement of their elected leaders. That is what this bill intends to cure. The mischief which is lying or resident here is perhaps the mischief that encourages the national government to keep a lot of money and dole them out as grants. National government, if they would not be responsible for projects in counties, would not keep such monies. We even hear national governments trying to procure fertilizers, trying to procure fingerlings for counties. How do they know about fish in Lake Victoria? How do they know about the need for fertilizers in Kegonga, in Kuria East? How do they know about the need for fertilizer and tobacco growing in Komosoko ward in Kuria West, Komosoko Nyamosense ward in Kuria West? How do they know? The government that is best suited to know is the county government. Yet the county government will be told that your fertilizers are lying in Nairobi, come and collect them. They are lying in some store. This, or the appropriate use for or of this money, would be if there is an agreement, a framework both for accountability and who is responsible for procurement. So I want to congratulate our chair, congratulate members of my committee, congratulate the staff and the stakeholders who helped us visualize the need for this. This is important for accountability, this is important for devolution, and this is the way to go. If we all did our parts in small but important bits, at the end of our tenure here, we will have done something that others will have an opportunity to build from. I also want to conclude by saying that this piece of legislation will encourage dialogue and engagement, constructive engagement between national government and county governments. You just can't walk into the backyard of a county government, take over its activities and put money without involving it. County governments would also not walk into national government domain and purport to do certain things that should be the exclusive responsibility of national government. This would end or reduce such confusion. It will also end or reduce duplicity, double planning, wastage of public resources, and would allow one arm or the stronger arm to know what the weaker arm is doing and needs. Because without that kind of synergy, we will be having projects that suffer from underusage because of poor planning. I want to conclude my contribution by allowing other potential contributors time to do so. So, Madam Speaker, I beg to second by saying that this is a transformative proposal, and those who believe in a transformation of our work environment, our responsibilities. Sorry, Mr. Speaker, not Madam Speaker. I don't see very well from where I am, but sorry, Mr. Speaker, I'm apologetic. I am not left-handed, as they say in the West. Those who mistake men for women or women for men are left-handed. I am right-handed, euphemistically. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that this is a transformatory proposal, and I hope it will receive the unanimous support of this chamber. It will also receive tremendous buy-in by both the national and the county governments and the National Assembly. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Is that the County Government's Grants Bill, Senate Bill number 35 of 2021, be now read a second time. Senator Agnes Mudau.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On this grant bill, but just before I go to the grant bill, I wanted to contribute to the voting disbursement of the money to the counties. And we were told to wait until he reads this so that we can contribute for both of them. So I'll start with the disbursement and then I'll go to the grant bill. On this disbursement bill, Mr. Speaker, I want to say this is a very crucial and critical role for the Senate.
Order, Senator. We are informed that the disbursement schedule has already been discussed and dispensed, only waiting for voting. So restrict your contributions to order number 10, the County Government's Grants Bill, Senate Bills number 35 of 2021.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, I'll just go ahead and contribute on that. I want to say that this is also very crucial, and the grant bills, when they come to the counties, many of the times, people like us senators never even know when they've come, and even there is no participation of the public. There is no public participation, and so how this money is used, the public rarely knows how this money is used, and the Senate as well. And I want to say the conditional grant, excuse me, protect me from them because they are disrupting me. Thank you. A conditional grant to the counties and the transfers, I want to say they should involve, the counties should involve public participation, and they should also do exactly what they are meant to do with that money, so that that money will be used for the purpose which the grant has been released for. Like now, just recently, I know in Machakos, a grant was released of 217 million to the level 5 hospitals. And as we speak now, in that level 5 hospital, there is no medication. People of COVID are dying like chicken. And so this money should be oversighted by a private body that can see what this money has done. As I also contribute is that there are so many contractors in Machakos County who has not been paid, suppliers and stored projects that are pending. And I would also ask the government or the governor of Machakos, before he exits his office, that he may pay and finish all the pending projects and pay all the suppliers and contractors who have not been paid. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that not only the stalled projects and the suppliers and the contractors, even the CH fees are calling my office every now and then, demanding for their pays. Doctors are not being paid, and even cleaners, as little money as paying cleaners have not been paid. And so I would ask for the disbursement of the monies to be released in good time so that they can be utilized. In this grant, we should see the strengthening of public finance management and strengthening of the county human resources. and improve the county planning and monitoring evaluation systems. Civic education should be done to the public so that even as they participate, they know what they are supposed to be doing. Mr. Speaker, I think I support both of them. Thank you.
Senator Beatrice Kwamboka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the Chair of the Finance and Budget Committee and the committee for coming up with this bill of the County Government Grants Bill 2021. Mr. Speaker, this is a straightforward bill. It touches on the accountability, Mr. Speaker, and it tells us on the framework itself. You know, Mr. Speaker, these grants, the counties normally receive the grants, but they misuse the grants. And this is a high time that the Chair of the Finance and Budget Bill has come up with this framework on to see on how these grants reach the counties. Mr. Speaker, you know this, it's a good way, the agreement between the national and the counties. At least people should be aware at how much that grant is, and there must be a participation with the county assembly because that money goes to the counties, and let the members of the public get time to do public participation so that they can know exactly these grants or funds which are coming to that county, how they are supposed to use that money. Because majority of the governors, when this money goes to the counties, they take this money as if it is their money, they can spend it the way they feel like, not knowing that they are accountable to the citizens of this republic. So, Mr. Speaker, come to the agreement between the national and the counties. It is good that agreement should pass through this House so that the leaders from the said counties, the 47 counties, can participate and know exactly what is going on in their counties. And Mr. Speaker, when we talk about the cash disbursements, it is so sad that the National Treasury takes a long period of time to disburse money to the counties. As for this time, during this COVID time, this difficult time of COVID, Mr. Speaker, it is so sad that the counties have not received their money. And for the Chair of the Finance and Budget, it is a high time you summon the CS to appear to this House and you call a whole House. We exactly want to know what is the delay. Who is sabotaging this government of Jubilee? Because there's sabotage somewhere. Because if the money is there, why does the money doesn't reach the counties? People are dying, people are having problems, the contractors are not being paid, whereas we see that the services are not being done in the counties. The hospitals cannot even get the drugs they're supposed to get due to the delay of the funds from the Treasury to the counties. Mr. Speaker, I support this bill, and thank you very much, the Chair of the Finance and Budget Committee.
Honorable Senators, there being no any other request to contribute to this order, I call upon the mover to reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Once again, I want to thank the distinguished senators. Like many have said, this is a straightforward bill. But of course, it sets on the structure of disbursement of the of the conditional and conditional grants to the counties. Mr. Speaker, senators have emphasized once again, that the funds that are sent to the counties is not private money. It's money that need to be utilized as per the requirements, and indeed to serve Wanjiku and others. Madam Speaker, one of the problems, and I think Senator Ochilo may have alluded into this, once in a while when the auditor, one of the queries that the Auditor General raises in the audit reports is absorption of the funds that are dispersed to the counties. So, Madam Speaker, it's a high time that the county governments, of course, utilizes the money and expeditiously utilizes the money so that we can make use of the funds to serve the various services that are supposed to be extended to our citizens. Mr. Speaker, I think as somebody mentioned about issues of checks and balances, governance issue, and Mr. Speaker, the committee is also looking at have an inquiry into the efficacy of IFMIS, because, Mr. Speaker, if we can utilize technology wisely, appropriately, Madam Speaker, we can enhance on issues of governance and more so put in structure for checks and balances. Governance issue, Mr. Speaker, are issues that have been raised, and so we want to see what is it that the IFMIS can be able to do for us, so that we become proactive. And as like they say in the health profession, prevention is better than cure. And Mr. Speaker, let us not always, like Ochiro's team continue doing, be morticians. We try to be proactive in our issues, in taking care of the funds that are taken to the counties. I also want to thank the Secretariat for the good work that they have been doing, and hope that we'll continue and we'll be bringing the amendments that have been alluded to. And Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 613, I request that you defer the putting of the question to another day. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, I defer putting of question until tomorrow afternoon. Next order.
Order number 11, the Public-Private Partnerships Bill, National Assembly Bills number 6 of 2021, second reading.
Mover is not present. Order deferred.
Order number 12, the County Hall of Fame Bill, Senate Bills number 9 of 2021, second reading.
Mover not present. Order deferred.
Order number 13, the Disaster Risk Management Bill, Senate Bills number 14 of 2021, second reading.
Mover not present. Order deferred.
Order number 14, the Kenyan Sign Language Bill, Senate Bills number 5 of 2021, second reading.
Senator Dr. Gertrude Msuruve.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the bill, the Kenyan Sign Language Bill, that is here for the second reading. And Honorable Speaker, I'll be very brief about the Kenyan Sign Language Bill. It is a bill that, it is among the bills that were actually, they had gone through the first
the senator, you need to move the bill properly, in a proper manner. That bill be read a second time. You read the bill and say that.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move this bill, the Kenyan Sign Language Bill, for a second reading. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move that the Kenyan Sign Language Bill 2021 be read for a second time in the Senate.
Okay. Proceed, Senator.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'll be very brief on this bill because it is a bill that went through the first reading, second reading, and it was brought back for concurrence. So it is a bill that has actually gone through public participation as well. And public participators who came, to add their voices to this bill were scholars. And I remember Professor Ndurumo came in and really gave a strong voice on it. We also had PWDs coming, to give public participation who are also deaf themselves. Now, Honorable Speaker, just in a nutshell, this bill seeks to effect Article 73B of the Constitution of promoting Kenyan Sign Language, and it also seeks to promote Article 54, Article 54, 1B that seeks to speak on issues of sign language. And Honorable Speaker, the objective of this bill is to ensure that the deaf are included in the mainstream as well. And in promoting this, the Kenyan Sign Language, it means also, even in the corridor of justice, Honorable Speaker, the deaf will be given a hearing. Honorable Speaker, many times when the deaf have a case in court, sometimes their thoughts are misinterpreted. Sometimes also the information they are given is not precise. But this bill is going to speak to it so that they get justice, along the corridors of justice. They get a fair hearing. And Honorable Speaker, this bill also seeks to ensure that there is sign language interpretation in all government agencies, in all government departments. So there is obligation of the county government and the national government to ensure that when there are any events, state events or county events, then sign language interpreters are there, and the deaf are able also to get the services that everybody else is getting. And Honorable Speaker, it not only talks about social integration, but it also talks about academics. When it comes to academics, the deaf have actually not been able to get the mainstream language, the language of the wider society, so they end up being disadvantaged. But this bill also seeks to speak on it, so that the deaf are also included in academia. And when it comes to language also, there's provision that sign language should be taught even to the hearing, not only the deaf, but also to the hearing, so that integration and communication will be easy for them. And the bill also encourages that the deaf should be taught English. The deaf should also be encouraged to also know Kiswahili, because these are mainstream languages. And at the end of the day, Honorable Speaker, I want to say on the floor of this House is that the deaf do not live in a cocoon. They live in a society where everybody else lives. So when they leave school, it is just in order that they're integrated properly so that they are able to get services just like anybody else. Honorable Speaker, apart from the education support, in schools, it also speaks on issues of TVET. That when it comes to TVET, colleges, and even primary schools, then sign language should be taught as a discipline, just to ensure that everybody else is able to understand the basics of sign language. It has worked in Australia, Honorable Speaker, where sign language is taught to the mainstream people so that they're able to communicate well with the deaf. So, Honorable Speaker, if this bill becomes law, I do not want to expand so much on it because it actually needs to go to the next level. It is my thinking and my hope that senators will support this bill, and I know they supported very strongly when it was first read for the first time and for the second time. And so even when it is brought, for concurrence, I know that my fellow senators are going to support this bill. They've always supported issues of disability so that it goes to the next level. And when it goes to the National Assembly, I believe that our sisters and brothers in the National Assembly will fast track this bill so that it does not drag and it sees the light at the end of the tunnel. So, the Honorable Speaker, when I was sponsoring this bill with Professor Kamar, who is my co-sponsor, we did this on an informed perspective, Honorable Speaker. Having taught in a school for the deaf and having done special education, Honorable Speaker, at undergraduate, even at master's level, and even at PhD level, my field work on PWDs, this bill that I came up with my co-sponsor, we are well informed on what is happening on the ground, and we know very well that it is going to help the deaf in this country so that eventually they're able to join the world of work just like anybody else, so that they stop selling sweets, along the corridors and polishing shoes. So the deserving deaf should be able to even get good jobs just like anybody else, Honorable Speaker. So I want to stop here, Honorable Speaker, so that my fellow senators can support me, and I call upon Senator Kwamboka to second this bill. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Kwamboka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second this bill of the Kenya Sign Language Bill 2021. Mr. Speaker, I want to congratulate Senator Gertrude Musuruve for representing the PWDs very actively in this House and this country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a good bill. It promotes the Kenyan sign language. Mr. Speaker, it is a high time that the deaf people should be recognized in this country, and they should be given a chance like any other citizen in this country. Mr. Speaker, it is good that they be recognized, more so in all the places like the judiciary, the churches, schools, even here in the parliament, Mr. Speaker, because you never know next time who will be nominated in this house, both houses, Mr. Speaker. So this is a very important bill. And Mr. Speaker, this deaf group, they go and they pass through a lot. If you visit some schools and you see what they are going through, Mr. Speaker, they need to be recognized, and it is a high time the registrar of the sector should make sure that these people are registered, they are being given the certificate of registration so that they can be known and they can be given a chance to perform their duties anywhere, including the jobs. They should be given an opportunity to work with other people in companies, Mr. Speaker, and anywhere. And Mr. Speaker, through introducing this bill, it will give this country a good platform so that we can have many other people coming, many other even countries coming to benchmark in this country to see what we've done in the parliament. And Mr. Speaker, because of this deaf group, I urge this Senate to consider this bill and help the citizens of this country, specifically this the deaf group, and urge even the National Assembly, once it goes there, they make sure they pass this one for the sake of the citizens who are like us. Mr. Speaker, I beg to second.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question, which is that the Kenyan Sign Language Bill, Senate Bills number 5 of 2021, be now read a second time. Senator Ochilo Ayako.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for granting me an opportunity to be part of this patriotism, part of this love for humanity. Mr. Speaker, our disabled brothers and sisters are people just like us. In fact, God Almighty confers upon us the duty to care for those who are disabled, for those who are lowly, for those who are poor, and for those who are in difficulty. And while you traverse this earth, while you have opportunity to serve, it is your duty to serve those who need it most. So I am happy to be associated with the excellent work of my distinguished sister, Senator Museruve. Senator Dr. Museruve is a person who has never wasted a moment but to emphasize the need and the desires of people living with disability. Her presence in this Senate, her presence in Parliament has been of invaluable contribution to the position that Parliament has held for a long time. Mr. Speaker, disability is something that people do not desire. It is something that nature imposes on us. It does not matter the nature of that disability. That does not take away our humanity. That does not take away our entitlements as people. And therefore, the state being the personification of our humanity, our collective humanity, has a duty that found its way conspicuously in our Constitution. The Constitution at Article 7(3)(b) is loud and emphatic. It is loud and emphatic to the extent that it imposes a duty upon the state to do what it must do and ensure that sign language, together with other languages that can only assist the disabled, is entrenched in our system. So what we are doing today, and what has been instigated by Senator Museruve, is a duty imposed on this state. The state need not be reminded. But here we are reminding the state that we are no state if we cannot take care of our lowly, our most neglected, our extremely poor, our neglected. Who will take care of them if we don't? You know, His Excellency God has many ways of doing things. We are told that He does not live on earth, but we are told to be like God in order to join Him in heaven when our tenure on earth ends. So since God is the provider and the carer for the less fortunate, it is our duty also as individuals to be the service providers, the assistants and the helpers protectors and defenders of the less fortunate. And I am happy that through this humble platform called membership of the Senate, we are performing that function. That function must be supported by government if that government needs God's blessing. If Corona is to go away, if our economy is to recover, if the divisions that are tearing our nation apart are to be cured and prosperity is to reside among us, we must use every opportunity, every ounce of energy given to us by God to take care of our needy neighbors. Because loving thy neighbor as you do to yourself is the decree that His Excellency Jesus left us with. And we must do it. If you don't do it, when you are in some place, I hear it's called purgatory. I don't know what you will say in penitence. I don't know what you will say in remorse. I don't know what you will say in expiation for your sins, because all have sinned and fallen short of God's glory. So if you are mitigating your tenure on earth in order to join God in heaven, what will you say? What did you do with the opportunities and privileges given to you by God to be alive, to be in the Senate, and to be able to have knowledge of the needs of others? So this, I believe, will be supported unanimously because it affects everybody and it affects all of us, and it's our duty. If you look at Article 54 of the Constitution, it is equally clear that we must promote sign language because it is the right of people living with disability to be able to have the development of that language. Mr. Speaker, I wonder how a human being would fully participate in the activities of society if that society is not speaking a language you understand, and if you do not speak the language or understand the language spoken by that society. How, without promoting this, how, without ensuring that people who may not otherwise interact with us or understand us would participate meaningfully, productively, and effectively in the lives of our society if we do not promote this? We have them many. Previous census were not specific on how many we have. We do not have many more. We do not know how many more will join us and how many more will join the future. So to prepare the present and the future for people living with a disability of this kind, it is our duty to build sign language as an important foundation for development or holistic development of society. I believe that the promoters of this bill intended that it be developed in school, it be developed in and promoted in universities and education curriculum and the legal system. But on my part, I wouldn't have loved this list to be exhaustive. It must be developed everywhere. I do not think that people living with a disability of this kind must only understand what is taught in school. There are other places which are not schools, or school is not defined, that they have to go to. I do not think that people living with disability may just need to understand stricto sensu legal proceedings. There are many more proceedings that must be understood. Some of them are not stricto sensu legal in nature, but as a human being, you must participate in them. So my take is that the measure of our development is how we are able to give people living with disability, particularly those who are not able to speak or understand our language, an opportunity to participate in all aspects of life. This category of people may want to be sports stars, football icons, movie icons, dancing idols. They may want to be all of this. Why must we limit them? What is it that we do not want them to achieve? How do we know that the achievement of this may not contribute to the meteoric rise and stardom of this nation? So I believe Senator Mseruve and her co-promoter, Professor, who is the Deputy Speaker and a member, distinguished Senator of Uasin Gishu County. I want to congratulate them on their insight, their thoughtfulness, and their love for their neighbors. And if they do not commit any other sin, I believe this will earn them a ticket straight to heaven, for those of us who believe that there is heaven. But even people who want to leave epitaph or footprint on earth, that they did good, that they served the greater humanity with fairness and love, I believe they will earn their place by doing this. I do not want to speak long on this topic, but I just want to conclude by saying that we are a better society if the least of us is made able. We are an excellent society if the lowest is brought up. We are collectively poor if we put in place policies that are only for the privileged. In fact, we are not born with a privilege. We acquire it temporarily, but we do not know that many of us may not acquire what we have acquired. So with our privilege, let us level all hills, we lower them, and let us level all valleys for everybody so that excellence becomes easy to all. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and congratulations to our two sisters.
Senator Cherargei.
Mr. Speaker, I want to, from the onset, to congratulate our able Senator, Senator Professor Margaret Kamara and Senator Dr. Herman Mseruve for this brilliant and wonderful idea. I think as a Senate, we are a house of union where we speak for the marginalized, the minority, people living with disability, and all Kenyans from all walks of life. And that is why every Kenyan is following what the Senate is doing, because they believe they will always speak for them. So I want to congratulate my sister, my two sisters, and wish them the best. I think Senator Mseruve has become a serious trailblazer in terms of defending and promoting the issues of people living with disabilities, which is slightly more than 6 million Kenyans, according to 2019 Kenya Population Announcing Census that was done in 2019. So I want to commend her, and this is brilliant. And I want to thank the Senate because, Mr. Speaker, it is the Senate, then being the chair of JLAC, I'm the person who drafted the pleadings, that we moved to High Court. And most of these 24 legislations were brought back to the House. And I'm happy when I see such legislations being brought up and many others. And I think after that ruling of the Supreme Court and the High Court, it has given us a space. And now, National Assembly, any business we transact here, they must take it seriously. So I hope when it is being taken to National Assembly, Mr. Speaker, sir, after the communication between you and the Speaker of the National Assembly, these bills can be processed faster so that it can assist our people and ensure our people benefit. Because all of us are in business of legislation, oversight, protecting interest of counties and the nation as at large. So I think this is very important, and I hope our colleagues will be able to finish this. I know in the interest of time, and since my sister wants to do a reply and be able to go for division, maybe 2 comments only, Mr. Speaker, sir, with your permission. When you look under, I just want to go back to the Constitution, Article 7, where it talks about the national, official, and other languages. When you look at Article 7.3, the state shall A, promote and protect diversity of language of the people of Kenya, B, promote the development and use of indigenous languages, Kenyan Sign Language, Braille, and other communication formats and technologies accessible to persons with disabilities. So what we are just doing is we are now anchoring into proper legal framework this law, this bill that our colleagues have brought before the House. This Article 7 does not exist in vain. And it is clearly, when you look at I've said minority rights and majority rights, when you look at the Bill of Rights, which is comprehensive, and many people, Mr. Speaker, are praising Kenya having advanced human rights like South Africa and many other developed nations. When you, even us, when now our proceedings are live, there should be a sign language interpreter showing you. So we are not even complying. When you go to YouTube or when we are live in some of the TV platforms, as a Senate, we should be having an interpreter so that the people who are deaf, who do not listen, can see what is being transacted. I wish even today, I hope they are where they are watching and somebody is translating to them what we are saying. But I can assure them you have found a voice in this House by the name of Senator Herman Musuruve, who has stood with you, and Professor Kamar by speaking for you. So this law in itself we have violated. I have seen media houses have tried, especially private, but as a government, we should have, even next to you, we should be having an interpreter seated there, interpreting. We never know the future of this Senate. We might have a senator who is a deaf. Kenyans can elect. Kenyans, we are encouraging Kenyans to elect people living with disabilities. We might get a senator who is a deaf. What will happen? When all of us, we don't have. So as a parliament, we must start with compliance first so that it becomes easy. Mr. Speaker, and that is the constitutional provision. I think the nation and every Kenyan should understand, and people living with disabilities should understand this. The provision does not exist in vain. It exists for the benefit of all Kenyans. And that is very important so that we go into the future. Even I've seen, and I hope Senator Musuruve will have this, of course I've seen where the place of devolved units, we need also to strengthen, and in fact if we can have all the 47 county governments becoming part of this bill so that it becomes easy. I want to say issues of, under Article, I think that the Constitution is very clear that nothing should limit access to justice. I want to thank you for that. Because as a legal practitioner, I can say to you, that it is important. People who are deaf sometimes look for justice, but because they can't listen, they can't understand what is happening, they can't listen, let me not use the word understand, they sometimes are not accessible to justice. And that is why we are challenging that we need the judiciary to take up this matter and ensure we have interpreters in our courts, we have people of sign language in our courts so that it becomes easy, Mr. Speaker. Secondly is that I'm happy she has indicated in this bill that we need registered interpreters and sign language, people who can do this job. I wish we have a list. And in fact, I want to challenge, I know it is being offered now. It is being offered now, it is being offered at many universities. I want to challenge most of the young people, take these courses, be part of it, so that it becomes easier on this. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, because we want to allow our colleague to be able to reply, is finally on the career development. I don't know the place of this in CBC. You know, nowadays it is funny with this CBC. They tell your child, can you bring a picture of what you eat in the evening at your home? Or can you prepare some other things? So I hope in this career development where we're having sign language interpreters, we should be able to include them in the curriculum development going into the future. They can work with Ministry of Education, we ensure, because I can see CBC, Mr. Speaker, apart from being it's expensive, it has become inconvenient to most of the parents that we are talking about. So I hope in the place of career development, we should not develop the strategy that is in place so that it does not become a problem the way we are facing with CBC. Apart from CBC being inconvenient, it is very expensive. And you have had many parents complaining at all of things. Sometimes they can even tell your child, and I talked with some parents today in the morning, that they can tell your child, can you bring a picture of mosquito resting? How can you take a picture of mosquito resting? So these are challenges that we are facing. I hope with this career development, we should have a clear, short, precise, and brief curriculum development for the sign language interpreters in this republic. So congratulations, and I wish my sister all the best when it comes to division. We shall support. I want to say in Nandi, before I forget, with all due respect, we have the school for the deaf in Kapsabet. And most of those schools do not get support. I hope with such a bill in place, we'll be able to fund some of the schools so that our schools like Kapsabet School for the Deaf can have opportunity, can grow, can have their careers. I thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mudama.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for this opportunity to be able to contribute to this very important bill of sign language. And I congratulate you, Senator Musuruve. You've been really on the spot where it comes to PWDs. You've really been their defender and their voice. May God bless you for that. Mr. Speaker, I say that this Senate, like the Senator has said, we should have sign language for them. Even in Parliament, we should have sign language. These people living with this kind of disability live in much distress. Many of them are even depressed because they cannot understand what is happening. They just live under the mercies of all of us because we've not put things in place for them. And so I support fully this bill, and I pray that it shall find the light of the day through the Senate and even through the Parliament, because they should also be fully presented in courts, in hospitals. Most of them, once they are arrested by police, they suffer a lot because they have no sign to show that they are deaf. They are just normal human beings like all of us. And so by the time the police realizes that this person is deaf, they go through a lot of beatings, a lot of mistreatment, because maybe they think that they are just quiet and they are not responding to their questions. And so in police stations, we should have sign language people representing the people who, the deaf who go there without their knowledge. We should have them in hospitals also. When they go to hospitals, they should be fully presented to be able to explain their sickness and to be able to communicate it back to by the doctors. We should have them sign language people all over, even in churches, in mosques, and maybe even in public transport, if possible. And because of the time, because I'm sure she would want to respond, I'll stop there, Mr. Speaker, and I congratulate you, Musuruve. I support.
Honorable Senators, there are no more requests. I call upon the mover to reply.
Honorable Speaker, thank you, and I beg to reply. And I begin by thanking my fellow senators for supporting this bill. I want to truly thank Senator Kwamboka for seconding the bill, and her input is quite invaluable. I want to thank Senator Ochilo for adding to this bill and reminding us that the state is obligated to ensure that this bill sees the light at the end of the tunnel, so that sign language becomes a mandatory language like any other language, and it is also included in studies. I want to thank Senator Cherargei for coming out strongly, and especially reminding the county governments to take this document as their business, so that sign language is devolved in TVETs and all schools and all institutions of learning. I want to also thank Senator Kavindu for coming in also to support this bill. And I want to truly thank all the senators in this House for coming out strongly to support issues of disability anytime they come on the floor of this House. And Honorable Speaker, I believe that, when this bill goes to the National Assembly, it will get the true support that it has received from my colleagues in the Senate, so that we have a truly, truly inclusive society from the word go, so that the deaf people do not live in a cocoon, but they are part of the society that we live in. And Honorable Speaker, Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to request that you defer the putting of a question to a later date pursuant to Standing Order 61-3. Thank you. I beg to reply.
Honorable Senators, I therefore defer putting of question until tomorrow afternoon. Next order.
Order number 15, the Health Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 26 of 2020, second reading.
Mover not present, order deferred. Honorable Senators, as you can note from the order paper, order number 16 to 19 are committee of the whole, and I therefore defer all those orders, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Again, we defer order number 20 to 22. The movers are not present. Next order.
Order number 23, motion, provision of colostomy bags to colon cancer patients and survivors in county hospitals.
Senator Msuruve. Senator, if you are not ready to move the motion, you can request for deferment.
Sorry. Honorable Speaker, sorry, I seek your indulgence. I'd like to move the motion. It was an oversight. A motion for the provision of colostomy bags to colon cancer patients and survivors in county hospitals. That aware that the colon is part of the digestive system with a major role in the absorption of water, minerals, and elimination of waste. Further aware that colon cancer can cause serious blockage of the colon that may necessitate removal of parts of the colon, the entire colon, or the entire colon and the rectum. Cognizant that persons who have gone through ileostomy, colostomy, and urostomy need to use a bag to empty their waste for the rest of their lives post-surgery. Concerned that urine bags, adult diapers, artificial breasts, colostomy or ileostomy bags are not listed as goods exempt from tax or zero rated in the first and second schedules of the VAT Act 2013 and therefore attract 16% value added tax and customs duty. Acknowledging that Article 43(1)(a) of the Constitution of Kenya states that everyone has a right to the highest attainable standards of health, and health is a devolved function, and therefore under the mandate of the county governments. Now, therefore, the Senate calls upon the Ministry of Health and in partnership with the Council of Governors to, 1, create and maintain a register of all the colon cancer patients and survivors in county hospitals, including the biodata of the histology of the patients. 2, provision of colostomy bags for those who are permanent users. 3, include the purchase of palliative care products in the health budgets of all county governments. 4, ensure all county hospitals stock these palliative care products to enable increased access and lower commercial prices. And 5, engage the Treasury and Kenya Revenue Authority to waive taxes on long-term health consumables such as colostomy bags, prostheses, and others in the upcoming budgetary cycle to ease the burden on Kenyans. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move.
Senator Msuruve, you will have a balance of 18 minutes to continue moving the motion. Honorable Senators, it's now 6:30 p.m., time to adjourn the House. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until Thursday, 9th September 2021 at 2:30 p.m.